this plan for this exchange just hours before he announced that he would withdraw from the race. I mean, what else are you hearing about the overlap between these two extraordinary moments in his career?
This is something that U.S. officials have been asked about repeatedly because there were two critical things happening on that Sunday. The president trying to bring this deal across the finish line while also having to deliberate and come to a momentous decision in his own election. But the way that it's been described is as two separate things. The president has often talked about his foreign policy chops, and this was always a priority for the administration, securing the release of Americans who the U.S. described as wrongfully detained in Russia. So this is something that will go as part of the president's legacy while he was also having to make the decision about the presidential race. But there is no doubt, Paula, that all of this happens against a political backdrop. Former President Donald Trump and his vice presidential nominee weighing in as well. U.S. officials knocking what they've said so far to say there's no evidence to show that former President Donald Trump could have secured their release if he wins a second term, making the point that it was President Biden who did so.
Priscilla Alvarez at the White House. Thank you. And joining me now for more on this, Ohio Republican Congressman Warren Davidson. He serves on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Thank you so much for being with us, Congressman. I want to get your reaction to President Biden's comments that the White House is not giving up on a deal possibly involving Marc Fogel.
Well, it's exciting. And look, it is a great day to have our prisoners freed and returned. It's a shame that they were held in Russian captivity for so long, and we should be grateful and thankful. So I'm glad to see this finally happen and greatly appreciative of Germany helping. I mean, they released an assassin. He killed a Chechen terrorist. If he did it in another place, it would have been celebrated. He did it in a public park in Germany, and so he's serving a life sentence. So not a small thing for Germany to release this person, but it really did result in freedom for Americans. And we should expect the Biden administration to continue to fight to free American prisoners and hostages that have been unjustly held captive, including in Gaza.
I also want to play some of former President Trump's reaction to this news. Let's take a listen.
As usual, it was a win for Putin or any other country that deals with us, but we got somebody back, so I'm never going to be challenging that. It wouldn't have happened with us. We would have gotten him back. We wouldn't have had to pay anything. We wouldn't have had to let some of the great killers of the world go.
Your reaction to that, Congressman?
Well, look, I think the expectation around the world that Donald Trump may well be the next president is resulting in shuffling in foreign policy. If you look at NATO countries, they're trying to, insulate their policies in Ukraine from the Trump administration. So world leaders are reacting to the possibility, hopefully the probability, that Donald Trump is in fact the 47th president of the United States. And maybe it had an influence. I don't know, but I am glad that these prisoners are free.
I also want to play some of what National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan had to say in response to those who have criticized the deal. Let's listen.
These are hard decisions, as the president has said. You have to think hard about who you release in a prisoner exchange. That's been true for decades. But at the end of the day, the president looked at this deal and he said, what we are getting, the value of human life, the value of putting families back together, the value of standing up for freedom of the press far exceeds what we are giving up by sending a few more criminals back to Russia.
Do you agree with that assessment of this exchange?
Well, I think a lot of people were hopeful that this would be a way to improve U.S. relations with Russia. And, Joe Biden was asked about that, and he was immediately dismissive. He's like, yeah, I don't need to talk to Putin. And that's a very different approach. Donald Trump was glad to reach out to world leaders where his dialogue could make a difference. Things were escalating with North Korea. Donald Trump built a relationship with Kim Jong-un. He built a relationship with Vladimir Putin, and he built a relationship with Xi Jinping. So I think it's a missed opportunity for Joe Biden to do better out of this. But, I think it is a tough thing to pull off. And, we shouldn't diminish the fact that it took a lot of work and a lot of countries to be involved in it. But I really do hope that the Biden administration does better with Russia and certainly gets more serious about getting our hostages freed from Gaza, unjustly held by Hamas terrorists.
Congressman, thank you.
Thank you.
And for years, the families of the freed prisoners fought for their release, hoping and praying they would come home one day. And here's how they never lost hope, as told in their own words.
These are foreign countries trying to coerce the United States, but they're also our family members, our loved ones. You know, we hear their voices, but we can't see them and touch them. Every time he disappears like that, we wonder what's happened. I mean, occasionally he's been put in solitary, moved to different places. We never quite know what's going on.
It's a pretty rough life, and it's not something that I would wish on anybody. I think of it as surviving, not living, and I hope that it's not too long before the Biden administration or some White House can bring Paul home so that he can start living again.
I think Evan is coping with this through sheer force of will. He's doing the best he can to stay both connected with us and connected to himself while he undergoes this process. I mean, it's scary and troubling and difficult. He's reaching out to us, and he's funny as ever in his letters, and he's trying to keep us and keep our spirits up and keep us engaged through the process. So that's a testament to who he is as a person.
I'm going to be moving, and he wanted to know, is there a good sized guest bedroom for him? So we're really can't wait for him to come home and spend time together. And I need to get the guest bedroom ready for him. It's really, really important to stay optimistic. We have to stay strong for Evan. It's hard not to have a fantasy about the day that he does come home.
Be optimistic, believe in happy ending. That's where we stand right now. But I am not stupid. I understand what's involved, but that's what I choose to believe.
Whose side are you on?
We know our enemy!
You have forgotten to fear me. House of the Dragon, streaming exclusively on Max.
Imagine a future where plastic is not wasted, but instead remade over and over into the things that keep our food fresher, our families safer, and our planet cleaner. To help us get there, America's plastic makers are investing billions of dollars to create innovative products and new recycling technologies for sustainable change. Because when you push for smarter solutions, big things can happen.
Protect your vehicle with SmartLiner's custom-fit, full-coverage floor liners. Precisely engineered for a perfect fit, rigid sidewalls ensure our liners won't curl at the edges. Backed by a lifetime warranty and expert customer service. SmartLiner.
Ethan! How's my favorite client?
Great. I started using Schwab investing themes, so now I can easily invest in trends, like wearable tech.
Trends? All that research sounds exhausting.
Nope. Schwab's technology does the work. So if I spot an opportunity in robotics or pets, I can buy those stocks in a few clicks.
Can't be that easy.
It is with Schwab.
Schwab investing themes. 40 customizable themes, up to 25 stocks in just a few clicks.
Lumify, it's kind of amazing. Wow. My go-to is Lumify eye drops. Lumify dramatically reduces redness in 1 minute. And look at the difference. My eyes look brighter and whiter for up to 8 hours.
Lumify really works.
See for yourself.
From meat-free Monday to Sizzle Pan Sunday. So many ways to save. Life ready, wallet happy. That's 365 by Whole Foods Market. Did you know that if you shave, 1/3 of what you remove is skin? New Dove helps repair it. So if you shave it, Dove it. New Dove. Replenish your skin after every shave.
At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. They put their names on arenas, we put ours on my lower back. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. And if this were one of their ads, they'd end it here with a happy customer. So we'll end ours with an angry goat. Oh, look at the angry goat.
Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Ensure with 27 vitamins and minerals, nutrients for immune health, and Ensure Complete with 30 grams of protein.
there's an electrified vehicle for everyone to fall in love with. Get offers on select models at the Lexus Golden Opportunity sales event.
Type 2 diabetes? Discover the Ozempic Trizone. I got the power of 3. I lowered my A1C, CV risk, and lost some weight.
In studies, the majority of people reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it.
I'm under 7.
Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events such as stroke, heart attack, or death in adults also with known heart disease.
I'm lowering my risk.
Adults lost up to 14 pounds.
I lost some weight.
Ozempic isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles. Don't take Ozempic if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2 or if allergic to it. Stop Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Gallbladder problems may occur. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
Living with type 2 diabetes?
That's about the power of 3 with Ozempic.
Okay, Limu, you said it. Then as I spike it, I'll tell them how Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance, so they only pay for what they need. Got it? Did you get that? Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Aaron Burnett out front tonight at 7 on CNN. This is CNN Breaking News.
And breaking news, the Dow is plummeting right now, down more than 900 points. This comes after a disappointing jobs report was released this morning. CNN's Matt Egan is following this. Matt, explain exactly what's happening here.
Well, Paula, the July jobs report was weak, and it was really the last thing that we needed because investors were already growing concerned about the health of the economy and the state of the jobs market. And so this report just amplifies those fears. We saw that, yes, the U.S. economy is still growing, still adding jobs, seeing 114,000 jobs added in July, but this was the second lowest rate since late 2020. The unemployment rate also ticked higher, noticeably higher, up well above 4% now. And so this is raising some concerns about whether or not the Federal Reserve waited too long here, right? They could have cut interest rates earlier this week. They opted not to. And now this is raising some worries that maybe all that tough inflation fighting medicine from the Fed is really starting to damage the economy. Some forecasters are even talking about the risk of a recession. I do think it's important to emphasize, though, that it's just too early right now. We don't know if this is just a growth scare or perhaps something more serious. I talked to Moody's economist Mark Zandi earlier, and he said he still thinks the economy can avoid a recession, but he noted that the risks are rising and it could be a closer call than people thought.
Matt Egan, thank you. We'll come back to you if there are updates. And now to the Middle East, where fears of a wider conflict are growing as U.S. officials warn Iran's retaliation against Israel could come within days. Hamas has called for prayers and a day of anger over the killings of the group's political leader in Tehran. His funeral was held in Qatar earlier today. The Iranian government and Hamas say Israel carried out the assassination, though Israel has not confirmed nor denied its involvement. President Biden says the escalating tensions are concerning as he weighs more U.S. defenses in the Middle East.
I'm very concerned about it. I had a very direct meeting with Prime Minister today, and very direct. We have the basis for a ceasefire. He should move on it, and they should move on it now.
CNN chief international correspondent Clarissa Ward is live in Tel Aviv. Clarissa, how is Israel preparing for this imminent response by Iran?
Well, so far, Paula, the atmosphere here is still relatively calm. We did attend a rally last night, and it was notable that many of the people attending said they had hesitated to go, that they were somewhat scared about this and highly anticipated response from Iran, from Hezbollah, or whatever that response might look like. We are starting to see preparations beginning. We spoke to a hospital here in Tel Aviv that says it is cleared out a below ground parking lot of all cars so that it could potentially be used to treat patients if there was some kind of a strike. We have also heard from Jerusalem's municipality, which has urged people to prepare and clean their shelters to make sure that wherever they go, they are able to get to a shelter within 90 seconds, which is the amount of time they would have from an alert being given. And also telling people to stock up on supplies to basically be prepared for potentially a power outage of several days. Also, one of the big supermarket chains here is saying that their sales have gone up 30%, that people are stocking up on toilet paper, on canned goods. So definitely this is a country that is on high alert and is preparing, but still no real concrete sense yet as to what this attack might look like and when it might come.
You make a good point because, of course, Iran has promised a, quote, harsh and painful response to the assassination of Hamas's political leader. You know the players, you know this region. I mean, potentially, what could that look like? Or is it possible that they might just hold off indefinitely?
Well, when we heard from Nasrallah yesterday, the leader of Hezbollah, he made it clear that there will be some kind of a response, that it might be a coordinated response between Iran and its various proxies, the so-called axis of resistance across the region. But he didn't yet really give a timeline. Not that he would, but he allowed for some wiggle room, if you will. So while everyone is anticipating this, it's still not clear what exactly it might look like. Now, when we were here in April, when Iran launched its attack, 300 projectiles towards Israel. The primary target of that appeared to be the Nevatim Air Base, where the F-35 fighter jets are kept. In this instance, they may go for some kind of a military base. They might try to go for a power plant, for example. It's interesting in all of the preparations we're seeing, we're hearing a lot of emphasis on preparing for the possibility of several days without power. But this is speculative. All we know is that they are having a lot of conversations here at the highest levels with U.S. counterparts. Yoav Gallant, the Secretary of Defense here, spoke to Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin for the third time this week today. The British Secretary of Defense also here in Israel today as they try to prepare to form some kind of a defense for whatever response we might be imminently about to see, Paula.
Clarissa Ward, thank you. And coming up, Kamala Harris is set to meet with her short list of vice presidential contenders this weekend. And we have new reporting on what's most important to her in selecting a running mate.
1968, there was this ache in the American spirit, but that was happening to us.
I shall not seek and I will not accept the nomination of my party for another term as your president.
1968, Sunday at 9 on CNN.
Did you know there's a way to cut your dishwashing time by 50%?
Try Dawn Power Wash Dish Spray. It removes 99% of grease and grime in half the time. Dawn Power Wash has 3 cleaning boosters not found in traditional dish soaps that remove food and grease 5 times faster. And because it cleans so well, you can replace multiple cleaning products for counters, stoves, and even laundry stains. Try Dawn Power Wash Dish Spray. Brand power helping you buy better.
This is a hot flash.
I'll do it. But yeah, I think it's a no-brainer for Shapiro.
I will say this. I don't know if it's significant where it's making more news than it actually will have an impact. But Shapiro right now is the only contender for vice president that is subject to an organized campaign against him. Some very far left congressional staffers, also members of the Democratic Socialists of America, have a website called No Genocide Josh, and they are pushing against Kamala Harris picking Josh Shapiro, calling him Genocide Josh because he has had a pro-Israel stance. Do we see that as making noise but having no impact, or do you think it does actually speak for a notable segment of the Democratic voting base?
Let's just be honest. He's Jewish, and that's what people are worried about, and that's what it's being discussed. I don't think it's going to affect his selection. I think he still gets chosen, But there is this conversation on both sides of how is it going to affect us with a Jewish person running for president, and that's what this conversation's about. I can't see anybody changing their allegiance either to Kamala Harris or Donald Trump based on Shapiro being on the ballot.
I should turn my microphone on.
Yeah,
Do you
it's
guys
important.
have any? Are there any states? I want to talk about states that we're not talking about. For example, Florida. Are there any states that we should consider in play that conventional wisdom would tell you are not in play for either candidate?
North Carolina is a state that Biden had no chance of winning, and Harris may expand the map there. I've seen the talk about Florida. I don't think that's going to happen. Put it this way: if Republicans lose Florida, this is going to be a landslide election.
Well, let's hope then, huh?
Quick question about Kamala Harris, because obviously 4 or 5 years ago when she was running for president herself, that's a long time ago, and she is a more experienced politician now. But I've kind of noticed this. I don't know if it's just me or not. I think she seems to be speaking a lot better than she was in the past. We have the famous, clips of kind of the nonsense word salads that she was spitting out about today and tomorrow and the present and the past. But right now, she seems more relaxed. Is it because she realized the bar's so low? If she just talks, she sounds good?
I think she's gotten reps. I mean, at the end of the day, the vice president, we say they do nothing, but they actually do a lot. They go to a lot of places and give little ridiculous speeches and make people feel good. And really, for 4 years, she's gotten practice at that.
Yeah.
I think she's a far better candidate for having 4 years of being vice president. And I think we're getting to see it. And let's be honest, up until about 3 weeks ago, we would occasionally see Kamala Harris. She would maybe show up in the news. Now she's in our face 24/7. So our last exposure that way was 5 years ago when she was not the greatest candidate.
Keep in mind that since Biden dropped out, we've really only seen her on a teleprompter.
Mm-hmm.
And so the proof is going to be in the pudding when she's making off-the-cuff remarks, when she's answering questions in an interview or a news conference. I still don't think she's the best candidate in the world.
Hancock and Kelly with us on this Friday. It's Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji. Another segment with these two and their expertise. We're going to I almost said violate, but we're gonna make the most of your expertise when we come back. You guys all right with that?
Hope so.
Yeah. All right. It's KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
I had heard about 3-day kitchen and bath. I kind of always dismissed it thinking, well, nobody can do that in 3 days. I wanted somebody who was going to come when they said they would come and, do what they said they were going to do. What I liked best was having it done in, less than a week, the whole thing from top to bottom. Nobody could believe that I really had it done that fast. They absolutely held up to every single thing that they agreed to. I especially loved the fact that I didn't have to go out all over town. The overall quality was very good. All the workmanship was so excellent. They'll definitely do exactly what they say they're going to do. There's no surprises, no added costs later. They stay until everything's exactly the way you want it, and you're done.
Thanks, Lori. Check us out online at 3daykitchen.com.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Stacy here from Fairwinds River's Edge, an award-winning independent living community in St. Charles. Voted Best Independent Living by U.S. News and World Report, we provide life-enhancing senior services to support your best self. In our active community for adults 55 plus, you'll cultivate connections in a community that feels like home. And for your first 3 months, we are offering 50% off rent. Apartments start at $39.95. Visit fairwindsriversedge.com to learn more.
Broadcasting from the Underline Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
At 10:30, we've got clouds. It is 79 degrees downtown at the Arch. The U.S. economy suffered an unexpected setback in July as hiring fell sharply and the unemployment rate rose for the fourth straight month, in a sign that higher interest rates may be taking a bigger toll on businesses and consumers. The report from the Labor Department showed that employers added just 114,000 jobs in July, far fewer than the 175,000 that forecasters had expected, and that unemployment rose to 4.3%, the highest since October 2021.
A tough loss for the Cardinals as the Cubs score 3 runs in the bottom of the ninth and walk off the Cardinals at 5-4. Ryan Helsley blows the save for just the third time this year. Sonny Gray made the start for the Cardinals, pitched well, 7 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits. The Cardinals get home runs from Mason Wynn and Paul Goldschmidt. For Goldschmidt, it's his 17th of the year and part of a 3-hit day. Today, the Cardinals will debut Eric Fetty, who they just acquired at the trade deadline. He'll start against the Cubs, 7-4 with the White Sox this year, 121st pitch. Our coverage starts at 12:25. With the Redbird Report, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Some debris on 6440 going west to 270. Right 2 lanes have been closed. Some road work on 44 going west to Jefferson. That's got the left lane closed. This afternoon, sunshine, clouds, breezy, not as hot with a stray thunder shower, high 86. Tonight, humid, low 72. For tomorrow, sun with a high of 91. Sponsored by Fast Eddie's Bon Air. If you are 21, come to Fast Eddie's Bon Air on 1530 East 4th Street in Alton, Illinois for great food and entertainment. The home of the Big Elwood on a Stick, the Big Fat Eddie Burger, and the world-famous Peel and Eat Shrimp. See you at Fast Eddie's in Alton, Illinois. Right now, 79. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hey, fantasy football owners. The road to winning your fantasy football championship starts now. I'm Matt Harmon from Reception Perception. Join me and James Coe as we take a deep dive into the position that's going to make or break your fantasy roster. Wide receivers. We analyze route running, target share, and all the metrics that matter, giving you the insights you need to draft the best wide receivers. As you prep for your draft, let us give you the coverage you need. Follow and listen to Reception Perception on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
There's Mike Kehoe's campaign bus that's owned by a Chinese lobbyist. Swampy Kehoe is hitching a ride after voting 4 times to sell Missouri farmland to China. Luckily, Trump-endorsed conservative Jay Ashcroft is tough on China. He led the charge to stop China from buying our farms. Call and thank Ashcroft for being China's worst enemy. 573-751-4936. Paid for by Stand for US PAC, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. StandForUS.com.
What if I told you your home movies are already past their prime? It's true. The magnetic tape used in VHS and camcorder tapes only lasts between 10 to 20 years, which means your baby's first steps, weddings, and family vacations are fading away as we speak. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box stops this fading process in its tracks. And by preserving your recordings, they're safe forever. Legacy Box is simply the best way to preserve your past, which is why they've been trusted by over 1 million families. Your memories are meant to be shared, not chewed up by the VCR or worn away with time. For a limited time, you can convert your tapes to digital for just $9 a tape. There's never been a better time to convert your entire collection. That includes film reels and photos too. Visit legacybox.com/value to get our $9 sale. That's legacybox.com/value to unlock our $9 offer. legacybox.com/value.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
A weak White House, an invasion of illegals, and the woke mob attacking our values. That's what Phil Cristofanelli is fighting for Missouri's future. He supported sending the National Guard to secure the southern border. He defunded sanctuary cities. And Phil Cristofanelli backs the blue to keep our neighborhoods safe from gangs, fentanyl, and human traffickers. He's been named one of Missouri's most conservative legislators year after year. Cristofanelli stands up to the radical left and weak-kneed Republicans. Pro-life, he helped pass one of the nation's strongest anti-abortion laws and defunded Planned Parenthood. Pro-Second Amendment, he stood up for our gun owners and constitutional rights. And Cristofanelli is keeping men out of girls' sports and locker rooms. Phil Cristofanelli, an unwavering conservative for state senate.
Paid for by friends of Phil Cristofanelli, Dan Raker's treasurer.
From city lights to neighborhood stories, KMOX's local newsroom keeps you informed. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The pitch by Helsley swung on line down the left field line. That's a fair ball, and the Cubs have come back to win this one. 5-4. Tauchman drives in Swanson, and this ball game has come to an end.
Yeah. I thought after the Mason Wynn home run, I thought, okay, this is going to be a nice first win here, the series against the Cubs at Wrigley Field.
Should have been.
Yeah, we got Hancock and Kelly with us, Chris and Amy on KMOX until the pregame show today at 12:25. So, Hancock, you were watching that.
I did watch it. Yeah, it was just one of those games. You're going to have those in the course of a season.
Because people were really mad last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because that's one of those gut punch games. They had one earlier in the year. This one, I don't know if this is as bad. I think this is probably the worst one.
Well, it's a tough one. You just have to get over it. Fortunately, it's the first game of the series. Now, here's the thing. If you look at the ball club last year, lost 91 games.
Mm-hmm.
They had some incredible 27, something like that, blown saves. They ended that season the way they ended that season was because of the number of ball games they blew in the 8th and 9th inning. There have been very few of those this year. And you're going to have some. You're going to lose some games in the 9th inning. Your closer, there's never been a perfect closer in the history of Major League Baseball. Even the guys that won the Cy Young Award, thinking about Eric Gagne in 2000.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
53 saves in a row. Right. But nobody's perfect. And the Cardinals, they looked good last night. A lot of hits. They didn't hit well with runners in scoring position. That'll come. They've got a much better lineup because of Tommy Pham's presence. Michael Ciani's hitting and really contributing in the 9-hole. That's huge. Mason Wynn now has got a couple of home runs in the last 3 games. Paul Goldschmidt's heating up. So, yeah, tough loss last night, but keep the faith, folks. This club's going to be okay.
You're saying don't worry about it.
That's exactly right.
See, there you go.
DWBI.
It could be really bad. I'll tell you what. I know. I heard this yesterday. I didn't realize.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, DWDI.
Yeah,
I thought you said B. I think you
yeah.
said BWBI.
No, DWBI.
DWI is an airport, isn't it?
DWI is driving while intoxicated.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the
I don't
way,
know, but your ADA of you guys, FYI, is really
what a useful skill it would be to be a gymnast if you got pulled over for DWI.
Why?
I tell you to walk the straight line there. I mean, you're walking
Okay.
in the straight line. You're doing cartwheels on that sucker. I mean,
Speaking-
that's impressive.
This guy, he couldn't walk across the beam.
Of
Okay.
course I could.
No, you
Could okay. You guys had this conversation, Michael. What did you posit about John Hancock?
So I was telling him, first of all, who came up with all the gymnastics stuff? Like,
Greeks.
it makes no sense because the Greeks didn't come up with let's run 30 yards, hit this trampoline, and do 6 flips and land without taking
It's
a
a whole
step.
horse thing.
Yeah, the Greeks, the ancient Greeks didn't have a floor routine. John.
Yeah, or a ribbon, or how about uneven bars?
Yes, they did.
Of course
They probably
They did.
Yeah.
They had a floor
Yeah,
routine.
I think on the grass they would run around.
Oh, did they with the music?
Hermedes
Did they
out
have?
there and,
Did they have?
Yeah,
hip hop playing.
They had like a drum, like
yeah, but and the uneven bars, what were they playing in the trees? Were they just swinging in the trees?
You people don't realize how advanced the ancient Greek culture
That's right.
was.
No, they really were.
invented
I know.
democracy.
They
They
did.
could do a floor
that doesn't
routine.
mean they had a floor routine.
They had
But
a floor
They didn't know
routine.
what a floor routine
I
They
was.
had a
watched
floor
Simone
routine.
Biles last night, and to get off and on the balance beam,
Yeah.
she would do flips and cartwheels on the balance beam, and it wasn't much bigger than her foot. And I thought to myself, I bet I could bet Hancock $1 million that he couldn't walk from one end of
Show
the
me the
balance
money,
beam
buddy.
to the other.
Show me the money.
Let's go.
Show me the
I
money.
will do it.
I will do it. It's just you just.
How are you going to get up there?
Well, that's the thing.
He's got to do the jump.
So well, no.
You know, the Simone Biles
you
jump.
gotta
hit the spring.
You got to
He
hop
hits
on.
the
The, if you'll let me explain, I will explain.
Please.
People are over there laughing, and I'm trying to explain something to you. So you got to hop up on that sucker like it's a horse, and then you got you take your right knee and you put your right knee down on top of that dog, and then you put your left foot behind your right foot, and then you stand up.
You know what I would love
And then,
if if the challenge was for you to walk across the beam,
Yeah.
but you got on the beam by doing like the jump and then you land upside down on your shoulders.
I can't do that, but I can walk. And here's the other thing.
And by the way, it doesn't even have to be 4 feet in the air. We can do it with 1 foot in the air.
I got skinny feet, and I'm telling you, I can walk across that. So you
Yeah.
get somebody who's got a big fat foot. Now that's a whole different.
Now, 4 feet in the air, you're going to fall. You're going to hurt yourself. I would lower it down to 1 foot and say, John, walk from one side to another. $1 million.
Show me the money.
Can we? I think we could make this happen. I think we can lower the beam.
There is a price point that I'd be willing to give.
What's that point?
Yeah.
Huh?
What is the price?
Well, so if I don't make it, do I have to pay the money?
Half of it. Yeah.
Okay.
If you get across, I'll give you $1 million.
In
If you don't get across, you owe me a half.
$500,000. In theory, I could do this. You people.
In theory, I could fly an airplane.
No, you can't. You poo-poo my athleticism.
John, we
without
watch you
having-
get out of this chair.
Well, this chair.
We sometimes are worried about bringing in a crane to help out.
I mean, I might as well be sitting in a Japanese restaurant on this. I mean, this chair is low.
Do they sit on the floor?
Well,
Yes.
you don't not in the United States. They don't.
Over in Japan, that's what they
Well,
do.
yeah, in Japan you have to
They got their butt
you
right
have
on
to
the
kneel.
floor, which is exactly my situation.
Okay,
right
what is more likely that you could walk across the beam
Yeah.
or you could get out of a bean bag?
out of this chair.
Ooh, out of a bean
A beanbag chair.
Yeah, a beanbag chair.
There's no
Well, that's-
graceful
No.
exit of a
You
beanbag
you
or
just
a
have to
hammock.
you just have to roll and push in that case.
Yeah.
And which I'm pretty good at.
Roll and push.
You roll and push.
You know what the
Yeah.
most unglamorous date would be? Eating a salad while sitting in a beanbag chair. There's no way to look put together. You're going to look ridiculous.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Get a lot of those croutons down your shirt. It's
Yeah.
Well, how is it when you and Tula get on the floor?
Oh yeah.
Does she just climb on you like you're a mountain?
Not yet. So a little
Yeah.
bit. But her favorite thing now is she says, "Down, Pawpaw," and so I come down on the floor, and then she gets up and goes, "This room," and she runs into the other room. So I gotta get
That's
up.
what I do.
I think Georgianne has her doing.
You know
this
what?
for exercise.
I gotta get up. I go
What
into the other room. Then she puts the pillows down. Pillow time. So I get down on the pillow, and then she gets up. This room, and she's off. So yeah, that's been our big game here the last few days.
The next time I get together with my college friends,
Yeah.
and we're all together like in a house,
Yeah.
I am gonna stand up out of nowhere and go this room, and then run into a different room,
Yeah,
and see if anybody comes in.
it's quite fun. It's quite fun.
This room.
Uh,
They'll be like, "What is he doing?"
yeah, yeah. No, she loves it. She loves it. Then we build the
That's
fort
great.
in the living room, and then we get the fort, and then then she's tired of that, and yeah, we're off.
My guy's a different man since this grandchild has come
Aw.
along. It's kind of weird.
He's
to-
adorable.
It's neat to watch from a
She's
friendship
adorable.
distance. That just you're a different human.
Yeah,
He
it's-
lights up.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's
it's
pretty
cool.
cool. You guys, well, some of you people, maybe Amy will have.
Well, hey. We can still, Michael and I can still do it.
Oh, you can do it, but that's a tango.
Well, we
principle.
fall in the childless cat lady
You got
bunch
the-
that
you
I
got
know
the-
you people don't like.
You got the tango principle that comes into play.
Yeah, you're right. these two progressives are the childless cat ladies.
Yeah, we are the childless cat people.
They are pretty crabby.
I certainly hope there's no cats involved in these arrangements. My goodness.
Now that I think about it, you two are pretty crabby.
Well, it's because we don't have a child waking us up in the middle of the night crying.
Why does that make you crabby?
It doesn't.
So
I sleep great.
The biggest concern I have as a man who's going to age without a child is who's going to be there when it all goes down.
Yeah, when you're slobbering on yourself. Yeah.
Who's going to be there?
Yeah.
But
Delmar
until then,
Gardens
I'm going to be like,
will be there.
hey.
Yeah.
You know, all my other friends are like, oh, we're going to a soccer thing in
Oh, it sounds
Tulsa.
fun.
Oh, I bet that's fun. You staying at the hotel there on the side of the highway?
At the Holiday Inn.
Yeah, you're going to maybe go to...
They're number one in people pleasing out.
Hey, you know what? You guys, who is it?
Yes.
Al Pacino. He's a real inspiration for you boys.
Why?
Well, he had a
He-
kid
he
at
had a-
like 75.
No, 95, I think.
95.
No,
Al
he's
Pacino's not 95 years old.
Somebody 95 had a kid.
Strom Thurmond. He wasn't 90. He was in his 70s.
He's 84. So he had a kid at like 83.
I was at Billy Joel's concert last week in Madison Square Garden, and he brought his two kids. It was his last time playing there, on this residency, and he brought his two daughters out. And Billy's 75, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And these two daughters were children.
See, that's what you guys need to do.
Children.
You guys can both have kids when you're 85. That way you get the joy of being a dad, but you don't have to be around for it.
Yeah. But I don't have a
Because no one's going to blame you, are they?
Because you're going to be dead. That's
no one's
why.
gonna, oh, I thought you meant like,
I would be
why don't you
worried.
take the kids out?
No, because you're going to be dead.
It's
You'll be
unfair
dead.
to the kid, right? Unless you're
It's
Mick
mean.
Jagger or Billy Joel and you're leaving him $1 billion, it's kind of unfair to be a 75-year-old dad to that kid.
Yeah,
Just think about this though, Michael. The fact
gross.
that you did not, you went to this show at MSG.
Yeah.
You didn't have to find a babysitter.
No, no.
You just went.
And I could have gone at the spur of a moment. I
That's
don't have
right.
to worry about any. I don't even have a dog or a cat as a childless cat person.
Yep.
I don't have a cat either. I don't have to worry about. I don't even have plants to water.
The
Well,
babysitter
you and I
age
can
isn't
go to
forever,
Chicago
though.
this
They
weekend
grow up.
and go watch the Cardinals play. We don't have to arrange anything.
We should have done that.
How old do the kids have to be before you leave them home by themselves? Like 7?
I think much
Did
older.
you
than
know
that.
they're 7, not 7?
No, it's not 7.
You didn't mean that, folks.
Is it like
I think you got your baby teeth have to be out by before they.
how it works?
You know, there is a show in Japan, and it's called Old Enough, and I haven't watched it, but it's like all these kids get responsibilities, and they're very young, like sending a 6-year-old to go grocery shopping, and they do follow them with a camera, so there's an adult there. There's something about it, though, that, again, not having seen it, but just seeing it described, like, feels wrong. Like, I don't think you should send kids and then film them secretly and see if they can do it on their own.
What the hell? Give it a shot.
Well,
But, in New York, I saw a bunch of kids that were walking the street by themselves in uniforms.
Mhm.
So you can be 6 or 7 up
Well,
there
and also
walking to
depends-
school by yourself.
it depends on where you.
Not military, John. He's talking like school uniforms.
School uniforms.
okay.
No, I will say, like, it depends on where you live, but in like Europe,
President Biden, are you okay?
Well, it's getting harder and harder to find employees these days. I'm
Well.
thinking, now you got to hire a 6-year-old and put them in a Taco Bell uniform. I don't
He's going to be delivering Amazon.
Can't see over the
coloring
drive-up window. Great idea. Guys,
Oh.
See ya.
go have a great weekend.
Yeah.
See you guys.
John Hancock, Michael Kelly. We'll see you next Friday. Chris and Amy's show continues after this.
As President Trump's trusted attorney, Missouri's Will Scharf beat the lawfare liberals at their own game, delivering a major victory for Trump at the Supreme Court. He'll win for Missouri, too. Scharf's a rule of law conservative, tough on crime, backs the blue. Conservative Will Scharf, warrior for Trump, winner for Missouri Attorney General. Because Missouri's lost enough with liberal Andrew Bailey. As a prosecutor, Bailey went easy on a violent repeat felon with a long rap sheet, including shooting up a police car. Yet Bailey charged him with mere misdemeanors when he struck again, leading to a plea deal that cut him loose within months. Bailey slapped a violent felon on the wrist, the same wrist he allegedly used to shoot a cop. Buried last year, mourned by loved ones wearing black, because Bailey betrayed the blue. He'll betray Missouri, too. Defend Missouri PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this ad. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. 471-671-2291.
Saturdays are made for soccer and City SC on Y98. Whether you're running around town watching your kids from the sidelines or making the time to give blood and save lives by making your appointment at Impact Life, your community blood center. Make your appointment today at bloodcenter.org/soccer. And remember, you can always catch the City SC game anywhere on the Odyssey app and on Y98, your home for St. Louis City Soccer.
This is a consumer alert to all U.S. taxpayers who owe the IRS back taxes or have unfiled tax returns. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, you can now take advantage of active programs that provide relief to struggling taxpayers and may reduce or eliminate what you owe if you qualify. Even if you are facing liens, levies, audits, wage garnishment, or already in a payment plan, call the Easy Tax Relief Helpline now to check what savings you may qualify for at 800-544-1527. You may qualify to reduce up to 99% of what you owe or for other special programs. Once qualified and enrolled, you can rest assured that your assets are protected and all collection efforts will be stopped. Billions of dollars in savings are available through these relief programs for struggling taxpayers, but you must call to see if you qualify. To see what savings you qualify for, call 800-544-1527. 800-544-1527. That's 800-544-1527.
Summertime is the best time to enjoy the outdoors and enhance the appearance of your home. Banner Construction can make your home the showplace of the neighborhood with maintenance-free James Hardie siding and beautiful Pella replacement windows. Drive up to your home with a renewed pride. Visit bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050. Get a free in-home design and estimate. Call 314-569-1050 and have a banner day. 314-569-1050.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1216. 800-499-1216. 800-499-1216.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, and we are focusing on mental health. Joining me is Dr. Jessica Vanderland, psychologist with Siteman.
We offer a number of therapy groups for Siteman patients and their families. These are all, again, focused on cancer-related distress and issues. We also provide short-term individual therapy. Again, cancer focused.
Special thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
I'm Sean Malone. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Did you see that thing? I can't believe it. Something is obviously wrong.
This is a joke, right?
Are you freaking kidding me? No way!
You gotta be kidding me. Don't feel bad. There's no way you could have known that.
Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy?
Ranj, we all saw that Simone Biles won the gold medal in the women's all-around yesterday in gymnastics. And the countries, each country may give their athlete a bonus for winning a gold. The United States offered up $38,000. However, if she were from Hong Kong, she would get $768,000 for a gold medal.
No.
Indonesia gives $300,000 for a gold medal. If you're in Kazakhstan, you'd get $250,000 and an apartment. Other countries will give
an apartment?
Yep.
They give you a place to live?
A place to live. Other countries will gift cars, free food, and in Indonesia, as I mentioned, you get $300,000 and a cow. For South Korean men, you get 18 months of your lives back. How? If they win a medal, they're exempt from mandatory military service.
Wow.
Yep. And Australia doesn't give much. They give $13,000 for gold, $7,000 for bronze, and, quote, they don't even get a cow.
I think that's a good trade-off, I think. If you go to the Olympics and represent well, you get a year and a half back from service.
Remember the K-pop stars? All the K-pop bands?
Oh, they had to go serve.
They had to go serve.
I think that's perfectly acceptable.
So you get 18 months back.
Did you see that Simone Biles isn't very happy with the food in the Olympic Village?
So I heard a lot of athletes were really struggling with the vegan meals they were handing out.
Yeah, they're giving them healthy food. Now, they're in a place where the cuisine is outstanding, right? It's French cuisine, best in the world or some of the best in the world. She says, I don't think it's very good, at least what we are having in the dining hall. I definitely think French food is good, but what we're having in there, I don't think it's the best.
So a lot of athletes have struggled because, again, this is supposed to be the greenest, most environmentally friendly Olympics ever. That's why the athletes didn't have air conditioners in their rooms, and people, the different countries had to buy or bring in air conditioners to keep their athletes cool. The beds are cardboard, so the U.S. gymnastics team had to get mattress toppers and so forth. But the food is, I want to say, primarily vegan, if not all the way vegan. I think it's primarily, because I did see eggs and cheese, but the athletes have said, this is not sufficient for us. This is not what I eat to train. And I'm like, why? Why would you want to turn 30,000 athletes, I've never been here there, 6,000 athletes, vegan for the week that they're there for the Olympics? It makes no sense.
You see the story. Cats have been the story since J.D. Vance was his video of him unearthed talking about crazy cat ladies. The city of Nairobi in Kenya is considering a tax on owning a cat. It'd be about $1.50. It would cost you for an annual license to own a cat. And the reason they're doing it is because cats, quote, scream or cry in a manner that disturbs the peace. So in order to have a cat in Nairobi, you're going to have to pay $1.50 a year, which isn't really all that much.
The cat tax.
It is a cat tax.
Yeah.
I love this BBC story.
Okay.
It says the proposal comes via the Nairobi City County, which wants all cats to be registered by their owners, which some are moaning is a catastrophe. Now, don't act like you don't like it, because this is all your favorite thing.
Well, I
you
don't think it
love
is.
puns.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you love it. Don't act like you don't.
Well, listen, I don't make the rules.
All right. You got one for me?
Nope.
Thank God. All right. Hey, when we came back,
I was
You're trying
thinking
so
so
hard,
hard.
weren't you?
You could see smoke coming out of my head.
Amy needs oil. Hey, political ads are going, look, this is the worst time of the year. Every couple of years, political ads are happening, but something cool happened, and I noticed it last night. And I have a question for you when we come back on KMOX.
Hello, Missouri. I'm Jamie Corley, a fifth-generation Missourian and conservative outsider running for Secretary of State. The swamp establishment has embarrassed our state for too long. I'll fight to protect our values, support President Trump, and bring integrity back to Missouri. Join me, Jamie Corley, in this fight for real change. Vote for a proud Missourian who will always stand up for you. Paid for by Jamie Corley from Missouri, Mary C. Walsh, Treasurer.
Hi, this is Mark Harder, and I'm running for Missouri Senate 15. One of my opponents in this race is sending out negative mail, lying to you about who I am, and he knows better, but he does it anyway. This is a very desperate action by a desperate politician, since he can't defend his own sketchy 6-year voting record in the Missouri House. People in West County know that I show up, I vote, and I deliver for the residents of West St. Louis County. Don't be fooled. Vote smarter, vote harder in the August 6th Republican primary.
Paid for by citizens to elect Mark Harder. Chuck McCluskey, Treasurer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
I'm Robert Cornejo. It is an honor to serve as judge for St. Charles County, the community that I am proud to be raising my family in. In my courtroom, I follow the Constitution and the rule of law. I'm not here to legislate from the bench. I'm here to ensure justice is carried out efficiently and fairly. My number one priority as a judge is to make sure this is a safe community for families like mine.
Robert Cornejo served in the Missouri House, where he defended the sanctity of life, prevented illegal immigrants from receiving taxpayer-subsidized tuition, fought against big government, and strengthened our Second Amendment rights. Judge Robert Cornejo is endorsed by the St. Louis County Police Association and Eastern Missouri Coalition of Police for his work to keep St. Charles County safe. Judge Cornejo also has the support of local firefighters.
When you cast your vote, I hope that you will allow me, Judge Robert Cornejo, to be the next circuit judge for St. Charles County.
Paid for by friends of Robert Cornejo. Allison Onder, Treasurer.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, it's a cloudy sky, currently 80 degrees downtown at the Arch. Our top story this hour, the jobs report showed hiring cooled in July.
Just 114,000 jobs were added last month.
That's a soft number.
Gus Fauché, who's the chief economist at PNC Financial Services Group.
We have seen a slowing in job growth over the course of 2024. I think this is due to the lagged impact of higher interest rates that we've seen in the U.S. economy over the past few years.
So the scene could be set for interest rate cuts beginning next month.
I think it'll be a 0.25 percentage point in September and then another 0.25 percentage point later this year.
The unemployment rate rose to 4.3%, which is the highest since October of 2021. I'm Shelley Appler.
There's a sell-off of stocks worldwide. Financial advisors say stocks are way down because of worries about the economy after that weak jobs report and concerns about instability in the Middle East.
I think normally when you have a lot of volatility like this and it's focused on things such as geopolitical and to some extent economic, the best thing to do is really to wait it out.
Gene Peroni is president of Peroni Portfolio Advisors. The sell-off has the Dow down 900 points, the S&P 500 at its worst decline since 2022. President Biden says that he and Vice President Kamala Harris have talked about her search for a running mate. While leaving the White House for the weekend, the president was asked by reporters about what qualities he's looking for in a running mate for her.
I'll let her work that out.
With Simone Biles leading the way, America's female gymnasts took the gold medal in all-around competition at the Summer Olympic Games in Paris. CBS's Jamie Yuccas is there covering the gathering of the world's top athletes.
In the water, the U.S. men's 4 rowing team pulled to win its first gold since the 1960 Olympics.
She's got the lead at the halfway point.
In the 200-meter breaststroke, swimmer Kate Douglas pushed forward, claiming her first Olympic gold medal. Another historic moment.
And number 13 in the record books for Ledecky.
Katie Ledecky became the most decorated U.S. female Olympian, earning her 13th Olympic medal.
The KMOX business desk layoff notices are going out at a top company in Silicon Valley.
The chip maker Intel is cutting 15% of the company workforce. That's roughly 15,000 jobs. Intel has been losing out to rivals like AMD and NVIDIA and posted a second quarter loss. The company says most of the job reduction will happen this year.
CBS's Steve Kathan, the Dow from Stifel's down 822 points. That's 2% to 39,525. Road work on 370 going west at 94. Some debris that's just been cleared on 70 going west at the Missouri River. Emergency vehicle 67 south at Robin Road. That's got the right shoulder closed.
Sunshine and some clouds, breezy and not as hot as recent days through the afternoon hours. A stray thunder shower, high 86. Clear tonight, warm and humid, low 72. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 91. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Clouds and 80 in Florissant, 80 St. Peter's, and 80 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Presented by DesignAirService.com, St. Louis's leading air conditioning repair service. Charlie Brennan here. If your AC stops working, don't suffer. Design Air Heating and Cooling offers same-day emergency service. Call Design Air at 314-739-1600. DesignAirService.com.
The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Get paid to save with Empower Checking, a new high-yield checking account. Visit togethercu.org/empower.
Cardinals baseball is coming up at 12:25. At least that's the pregame show with Matthew Pauly. Then first pitch from Wrigley Field at 1:20. The newcomer for the Cardinals, Eric Fedde, who just came over in the trade from the White Sox, will throw against Javier Assad. So after what happened last night, it'll be nice to probably, hope to wash that away, because that was a tough loss in the ninth inning to the Cubs in the first of a 4-game series. Hey, it could be worse. We were talking with John Hancock and Michael Kelly about, the blown saves. Here, this will make you feel better, just slightly better.
Okay.
The White Sox currently have the same amount of wins as they do blown saves. 27. It's August 2nd. They've won 27 games.
Oh.
They have 27 blown saves.
How many losses do they have? How many losses is that?
Oh, let's see. I can go back and look at their record.
27 wins and 27 blown saves.
They are legitimately on pace to have the most losses ever. So they've lost 84 games
in their franchise history or in MLB
ever.
history.
Any team. Not counting like the Cleveland Spiders back in 1899, which doesn't really
More
count.
like modern baseball.
Yeah. It's bad.
Do you feel, though, if you're going to be a terrible team, is it more fun to be just the most terrible team in history?
Yes.
It's kind of fun to set records.
Yeah. And if you're I think people who are White Sox fans should root for them to lose every single game for the rest of the year. If for no other reason but to send a message to ownership that, hey, you are terrible. You are a terrible owner and you've put together a terrible organization. Fix it.
Do people wear brown paper bags over their heads at Guaranteed Rate Field?
I don't know. I wouldn't buy tickets if I were those people at this point. So last night, I'm watching, I'm flipping back and forth. Of course, you can't get Major League Baseball on YouTube TV, and that's how I get TV. You've got all kinds of options. But YouTube TV and MLB had a dispute or something, or maybe it was Bally Sports had the dispute. I'm not exactly sure. At any rate, you can't watch Cardinals baseball on it. I have to do a workaround, and I do it, and it's probably not legal. I don't care. So anyway, I'm watching.
Is it instead of .com, it's like .ru?
No, it's not like that. It's not like that. It's not quite that shady. But I am, I'll watch Cardinals on a laptop, and then I've got the Hall of Fame game, the Football Hall of Fame game, because the football players are being inducted this weekend. So it was the Bears last night. They're playing the Texans. And I'm watching the game, and, they go to commercial break, multiple political ads. So this is that time of year.
Are they national or local?
Well, they were all local.
Okay.
All the ones that I saw were
targeted,
Andrew Bailey, Corey Bush, they're all Missouri races.
Okay.
So on YouTube TV, every now and then when you're in the middle of a commercial break, and I don't really know why it happens, but you know how when you just watch a YouTube video and it will give you the option to skip the ad that plays, it'll say, in 5 seconds, you can skip the ad and go on. They do a similar thing with commercials where it will say, skip this ad for a relaxing video. And you can skip the ad. You click the button, skip the ad, and it just shows you like a sea turtle floating in water. Something that's very, seriously. And it's very, very relaxing.
Interesting.
Every time a political ad came on last night, it gave that option. At first, I saw a couple of Andrew Bailey ads, and I immediately skipped. And then a Corey Bush ad, I skipped that one too. And I thought, hey, wouldn't this be great we're going to have political ads on the station. They're on every station.
We legally have to do it.
We legally have to do it. It's just how it works. Okay. So it's unavoidable. There's nothing you can do about it. Wouldn't it be something though, if you're watching TV and some of these ads are awful, just stupid and bad, and I hate them all. Would you pay more for whatever subscription you have? If you've got cable, or if you have, I don't know, however you take in TV, Sling or Roku or whatever it is, would you pay extra per month to not have to watch political ads at all?
Well, they have that. They have ad-free versions of streaming services, don't they? Just not YouTube TV?
Well, yes,
because,
but you're going to have
ad-free.
There are going to be commercial breaks. So if you're watching a typical TV show, there's going to be a commercial break.
Like if you're watching live TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're watching live television, would you pay extra to skip all of it?
That's a good question, because if you have the Bally Sports app and you're watching the Cardinal game, you see some commercials, I think, but a lot of times you just see that banner like commercial break in progress, and it just says
on MLB TV.
yeah, and it just so it'd be like that.
Yeah, could be like that. Relaxing video, a sea turtle, whatever it
wouldn't
is.
be bad.
I think I would do it. I think if it were like 10 extra bucks a month, I think I might do
Because what we
that.
do is mute the commercials a lot of time, because somehow they always do seem louder. I don't know that phenomenon, and
Which,
they're just
by the way,
obnoxious.
it's supposed to be illegal to do that.
Yeah.
Because they passed that law several years ago, because companies, TV stations, networks were actually cranking up the volume on commercials.
Yeah.
So if you ever thought, man, why is this commercial so loud? They were doing it on purpose. So they made a law that they can't do that anymore.
It's weird because, I mean, with the amount of money that's spent on advertising and with everybody's viewing habits so segmented and compartmentalized, sometimes I wonder, like, why are people doing commercials? But we all see them somehow. Somehow the commercials are still hitting us. We're still seeing them, and it must still work because of the money they spend on it.
It has to.
But I wonder, you would imagine that the ROI on your average commercial has gone down significantly if they have to pay for Netflix, and they have to pay for YouTube TV, and you have to pay for live events versus Hulu or whatever it may be, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't that
I
make it
would
much
think
more
so.
complicated than just having cable or your network stations?
So again, this is radio. And it's free to you, the listener, because we have advertising, which it's how the model works. And I assume it's how it's always going to work. Maybe there's some adjustment in the future. But to me, there's something more intrusive about a television ad. And there's something even more obnoxious about a political television ad than just something with audio.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting. Political ads are obnoxious, and they're half-truths or not truths at all. Like the way each one of the gubernatorial candidates from Missouri said, I am Trump's candidate. Well, Trump endorsed
All of them.
three. Yeah, he endorsed three candidates, but all they say is Donald Trump endorsed me. And I think it was Bill Eigel or one of the other guys, Jay Ashcroft, said, I'm the only candidate endorsed by Trump. And it said, and this group, like meaning maybe both. He's the only candidate endorsed both by Trump and that group. And so it is bizarre, the black and white pictures of your opponents, the negative comments, and the nicknames like what Swampy Kehoe, or they show they put flags or the hammer and sickle t-shirt on somebody. It's so obnoxious. It's so childish.
Yeah. There's a texter who says, Chris, use the mute button, stupid. Yeah, no, I get that part, and I
said
do.
that.
I'm just, it's the visual too. It's all of it.
It is very obnoxious. I mean, you may want to see Bill Eigel using a blowtorch on boxes of
Maybe you do.
woke things, but if you've seen one blowtorch, you've seen them all. Hey, speaking of watching things, this is just out from Gallup polls. The Summer Olympics are poised to have record low U.S. viewership, which is pretty interesting. It says that 35%, 35% of U.S. adults plan to watch a great deal or fair amount of the games. So 10% of Americans said they want to watch a great deal of the games. 25% said a fair amount. So that's 35%, which is down from 48% in the 2016 Olympics and 60% of the 2000 to 2012 Olympic Games. And my guess is this is partly due to what we're talking about. You can watch anything on demand. You can watch the Olympics on TikTok recaps on social media. And I think people they're not forced to watch anything because you have your entertainment choices catered to you exactly when you want to watch them.
But also, Amy, I think it's because these games are happening here during the day,
Mhm.
and people don't have time to watch during the day. And I don't think a lot of people like to, I know I'm one of them. I don't like to watch recorded sports. I don't like to go back and pretend something is live
Mhm.
if it's a sporting event when I know it's not live and it's already happened and the outcome's decided.
It said only 56% of people are aware the games are even being held in France. That seems
There you go.
low.
I think when,
56% of Americans don't know. I mean, 56% of Americans know where the games are. The others don't.
let's revisit that when the games are in Los Angeles
Yeah.
in a few years. I bet the ratings are through the roof. And by the way,
Mhm.
they are expecting NBC Universal will get in advertising $1.25 billion from the Paris Olympics. They're going to make in advertising.
A little bit interesting. The viewership skews towards Americans of higher socioeconomic status. So if you make more, you are more likely to watch the games, and it skews a little bit heavier Democrat, which I don't know. That might also just be, I don't know if women tend to be more interested in the Olympic Games than men. I don't know. Partly because the most watched or anticipated event is Women's Olympics. So maybe that also draws more female viewers.
That could be
But
it.
that Women's Olympics, sorry, women's gymnastics.
Yeah.
Women's gymnastics.
When we come back, we're going to talk to Scott Jagow. He's got 3 good things and Roaming St. Louis, 2 terrific features. Also chats with Stu Mack. The chat with Stu Mack this weekend features a guy we know. It's pretty good. You excited, Amy? Go ahead.
I'm very
There-
excited.
Scott Jagow next on KMOX.
Having microphone problems, but now that we're all good, STL Fence works. You've got your phone in front of you or your computer in front of you. We always do some kind of screen. Check out stlfenceworks.com. Trust me, a year from now, you'll wish you had checked them out today so that you can get that project started. And imagine sitting outside in your backyard on a beautiful, crisp fall day. Maybe you're barbecuing. Maybe you're listening to playoff baseball. Doesn't that sound nice? STL Fenceworks can make your backyard dreams a reality. Now, I've talked about the decks a lot because I love sitting outside on the deck. It is my number one absolute favorite thing to do, to eat, to hang out with friends, to read, but also a fence, in which we do have a fence. A fence can add some separation. It can add privacy. It can add definition to your yard. It's also just very practical for kids or pets. If you have a dog outside, it's so easy to let them out. STL Fenceworks is proud to have American-made, meaning wholly sourced and manufactured fence products, whether that is through Jareth Manufacturing or through Vinyl Fence products through the National Vinyl Products. They can make sure that you get the highest quality product in a timely manner with experienced craftsmen with a guarantee that surpasses anything else in the industry. STLFenceworks.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, but they violated that trust. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect, call Onder Law at 844-BED-SORE.
1-800-GOT-JUNK recycles because it conserves our natural resources.
We donate the donatables so they can be loved and used by another family.
Recycling saves us money. The less we take to the landfill, the more we save.
It also saves you money. Spending less on landfills helps keep our prices low.
People love to see a win-win scenario, but we've created a win-win-win-win scenario.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Did you know you can unlock the equity from your current home and stay in it while you find your next home or while your new home is being built? Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis's real estate expert, can do that for you. Here's a problem that many home sellers find themselves in. They want to sell their home, but where will they move? Plus, they need the funds from their current home to go purchase the next home. Well, Gloria gets it. And that's why she created her Sell and Stay program, which lets you sell your home, get the cash, and stay in that home for up to 12 months. Gloria Liu thinks of every dilemma a home seller goes through and provides a guaranteed solution. If you need the cash from your current home to buy your next home, here's my recommendation. Call the agent I trust, Gloria Liu, and ask her about her Sell and Stay program. Call 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, and we are focusing on mental health. Joining me is Dr. Jessica Vanderland, psychologist with Siteman.
Anxiety, depression, PTSD, general distress, insomnia, a lot of fatigue related to cancer, and sometimes body image concerns. All of these are more frequently experienced in a cancer population than in the general population.
Special thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
As President Trump's trusted attorney, Missouri's Will Scharf beat the lawfare liberals at their own game, delivering a major victory for Trump at the Supreme Court. He'll win for Missouri, too. Scharf's a rule of law conservative, tough on crime, backs the blue. Conservative Will Scharf, warrior for Trump, winner for Missouri Attorney General. Because Missouri's lost enough with liberal Andrew Bailey. As a prosecutor, Bailey went easy on a violent repeat felon with a long rap sheet, including shooting up a police car. Yet Bailey charged him with mere misdemeanors when he struck again, leading to a plea deal that cut him loose within months. Bailey slapped a violent felon on the wrist, the same wrist he allegedly used to shoot a cop. Buried last year, mourned by loved ones wearing black because Bailey betrayed the blue. He'll betray Missouri, too. Defend Missouri PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this ad. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. 471-671-2291.
Rich Orris hosts the Kingdom OX Home Improvement Show, presented by Mosby Building Arts. Saturday at 11 on the Voice of St. Louis, Kingdom OX.
Amy Mark scores. Chris Ranji on KMOX. Normally we go until 1 o'clock, but today, not so much. 12:25 pregame show with Matt Pauley, and the first pitch at 1:20. Cardinals, Cubs at Wrigley Field. Eric Fedde is making his Cardinals debut starting for them today. Javier Assad pitching for the Cubs. We've got Scott Jagow in from the newsroom because on Sundays, there are 3 features that we love. 3 Good Things, Roaming St. Louis, Chat with Stu Mac. It's all coming up. Scott, what's up?
What's up? Well, this week for Roaming St. Louis, I went to Bogart's.
Ooh.
Barbecue.
Man, it's good. Their ribs, unbelievable. Their sauces. It's in Soulard at the corner of 9th and Lafayette.
Yeah.
They've been around since 2011. They're a cousin of Pappy's.
Okay.
Everybody knows Pappy's. Everybody knows Bogart's, I think, in town. When I first moved here, those are the 2 names I heard. They're under the same umbrella. They do a little bit different stuff, though. But I learned a lot about making barbecue and how long it takes. And what they do is they use a blowtorch sort of thing on the ribs. I watched them do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're just char it?
caramelize it. Oh, my God. They look so beautiful. I took some pictures. But, yeah, I love barbecue. I know a lot about barbecue only because I hosted a talk show once where all we talked about was barbecue. And people called in from all over the world. I'm not joking. Like people from Europe were calling in to ask about South Carolina barbecue versus Western North Carolina versus Eastern North Carolina, Texas, Kansas City, Memphis. I mean, they're all different in one way or the other. but they're all good.
Yeah. Well, people do love to talk barbecue. I was with Mason Jar just talking about Bogarts with another local restaurateur, talking about how good Bogarts is. And this morning, even speaking of knowing about barbecue, Mason Jar is trying a recipe.
Why is that his name?
Glover
It's a
gave
whole
him that.
Dave
Yeah, it's a
Glover
Glover
show
thing.
thing.
That's
All
his
right,
name.
enough said.
He's making what they call poor man burnt ends. And
Okay.
it's like with stew meat, not stew mac, but with
No,
stew meat.
Wow. That's what I'm going to start calling them, stew meat.
And I guess you chop it up and you char it and you smoke it
Yeah.
all day. So we'll give you the report. But let's say you don't want to do that. Go to Bogart's.
Oh, I love it. They have this vinegar sauce. Most barbecue places in the Midwest don't do vinegar sauce. It's very specific to
Mhm.
Eastern North Carolina.
Yeah.
But it is my favorite. If you've ever gone to Eastern North Carolina and had their vinegar pork sauce on the pork, so good. And they do one at Bogart's. And it is just addicting for me.
Here's the thing I don't know. What is the difference between
South Carolina and West South Carolina.
No, like
Oh, I
like
do know
how
the difference.
Bogart's, ribs specifically, how Bogart's does ribs versus Pappy's versus Sugar Fire. So like the three big ones here in St. Louis.
I can't
Do we-
explain that to you.
I don't either. I don't
But
know.
I can explain that South Carolina is mustard-based barbecue. Eastern is
Yeah.
vinegar-based.
And then Alabama's got
Western
some-
is saucier, sweet, typical sauce.
And Alabama's got some white sauce, which looks.
Ooh.
Well, that doesn't sound good at
Yeah,
all.
no.
That sounds weird.
Um,
Okay.
So you went to roaming St. Louis. You went to Bogart's.
Yeah.
I understand the chat with Stu Mac.
Yes.
You've got our guy Matt Pajeski involved.
What?
Our
Yes.
producer Matt Pajeski.
Well, he was in the room when we were starting to record, and I don't think he realized that we were going to talk about guitars and actually talk about the process of learning how to play guitar. Stu is excellent at guitar, and so is Matt. So we had him on. So, Matt, let's hear your rendition of Blackbird.
That's Pajeski.
That's him
That's
playing right there.
Pajeski?
That's you.
He's only
That's me.
14 and he can
Wow.
play the guitar and
Wow.
produce this
He's
show.
only four-
He
Well,
could use a little
started
practice, I
playing-
think, but
I think
not
he started when he was
It's a little
12.
pitchy.
Yeah, it's a little pitchy.
I think it was not pitchy.
Look, it's not the worst I've heard. Not the best.
One
not
time
the
you
worst.
hit that string, it sounded
That's
weak,
a-
like pling.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard
You know,
that.
that's
It was like, oh, wrong string. Yeah,
That's an
Mhm.
extremely hard song to play.
Yeah.
Just want you to know that's
Well,
was
for somebody
beautiful.
who's not good, yeah.
You know,
Actually, I had no idea he could do that.
That's
you didn't
really
know that?
good.
No.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Lots of things you don't know about me, Ranji.
Thank God. There's a lot of stuff I don't think I want to.
You don't.
All right,
I knew, Matt.
How
I
about
knew.
Stu? Play Stu's clip.
Here we go.
This is Stuart McMillan.
Yeah.
That is so much better than the last guy.
would not-
I didn't know Stu could
Wow.
play.
He plays like 20,000 instruments. I'm not kidding. He
Wow.
plays
Up from 14 this morning.
Didn't you say he plays a mandolin?
He plays
Yeah.
the mandolin. He plays this Bolivian instrument. He plays the ukulele, the banjo, the guitar. He plays everything, every stringed instrument you can think of.
That's incredible because Matt Pajeski was saying that you three were in the studio just picking and grinning.
Picking and grinning.
That's what we were doing.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
we were picking and grinning. Well, they were picking and grinning. I'm a strummer. I'm not
You strum?
picking yet. I'm just relearning the guitar. So I'm trying to learn songs and I'm going to try to sing. So I have a little clip of myself. I'm afraid to play this, but go ahead.
That's good. Damn.
That's after like 2 weeks of practice.
That sounds like when Bill and Ted went on the journey and then they came back and they could play suddenly. It's that good.
I got the real one here.
Oh.
Breaks my heart to see those stars smashing a perfectly good guitar. I don't know who they think they are. Smashing a perfectly good
Scott, let's get you on an
guitar.
open mic.
All right. Yeah, I need to work on the singing a bit, but
Yeah, we'll get you on an open mic,
You
man.
could-
I'm going to one.
You could
I'm
serve.
going to one this weekend.
Where?
I know what it is.
You
Wait,
do?
can you not tell us?
No,
Wait, tell me what it is.
The drawing board.
Oh.
Yeah,
You're going to be playing?
I'm going to play.
Is it a paid gig?
No, there's no, people might, I might have to pay them to show up, but
Oh.
no.
Here's what we're gonna do.
No, it's just a bunch of got people that get together and play. It's fun to try to play, and I'm gonna get over this, hurdle. I don't know what bucket list, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, yeah, just performance anxiety in front of people, kind of thing.
I don't really have that on the radio all the time, but in front of people, it's a little
different.
When you're playing an instrument, you're relearning.
Pappy's Scott Jagow. It's a guitar barbecue.
Amy, okay, dude, why do you have to ruin everything? You ruin literally everything.
Matt
Scott
says
Jagow,
break.
Sunday morning,
Yeah.
3 Good Things, roaming St. Louis, chat with Stu Mac.
Yeah.
You've got it.
All right.
Scott
Thanks.
Jagow, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much, buddy. Chris and Amy, let's talk to Mike Claiborne about the Cardinals when we come back on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX. Hi, this is former St. Louis County Police Chief Tim Fitch, and I am endorsing Mark Harder for the State Senate Race 15. I know firsthand, Mark has been a strong supporter of our police and first responders. Over the years, we sponsored legislation together to increase funding and equipment for our county police. We worked together to crack down on car and catalytic converter thefts and the proliferation of drugs like fentanyl in our community. Mark Harder is the right choice for voters in West County on August 6th.
Paid for by citizens to elect Mark Harder, Chuck McCluskey, Treasurer.
At 11:30, clouds 81 downtown, a major decline in the markets.
Wall Street reacting to the weak jobs report as all three major averages are down sharply. In the report, hiring slowed while the unemployment rate went up. Non-farm payrolls rose by just 114,000, while estimates have predicted 175,000. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate was expected to hold steady at 4.1%, but instead ticked up to 4.3%. I'm Dan Schwartzman, Bloomberg Radio.
High today, 86. Low tonight, 72. It's 81 now. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Stifel.
At Stifel, we put everything into the success of our advisors so they can put everything into your success. That's why we're the top-ranked wealth management firm for employee advisor satisfaction. Stifel, where success meets success.
Stifel, Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE. Visit jdpower.com for details.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I learned it from my adoptive mom. Hold my hand.
You hold my hand.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
You can host the best backyard barbecue. You find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Summertime is the best time to enjoy the outdoors and enhance the appearance of your home. Banner Construction can make your home the showplace of the neighborhood with maintenance-free James Hardy siding and beautiful Pella replacement windows. Drive up to your home with a renewed pride. Visit bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050. Get a free in-home design and estimate. Call 314-569-1050 and have a banner day. 314-569-1050.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free. with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, registered investment advisors. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
I'm Maria Kina. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Hi, I'm Paul Goldschmidt. I'm Cardinals outfielder Lars Nootbaar. I'm Woodson Contreras.
Now, Chris and Amy give you the birds.
I'm Adam Wainwright, and you're listening to the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
2-2 count on Wynn, and the pitch is hit sharply to left. And backing up is the left fielder. He looks up, and it's gone! It's gone! Mason Wynn! A 2-run homer into the basket.
Mason Wynn. When that happened last night, I thought, okay, there you go, Birds. Going to get that win. It's going to happen on the road.
Yep.
And a good way to start a series. We talk with Mike Claiborne here at 11:30 every Friday, just after the 11:30 news on the Quiver River Electric guest line we go. As the Cardinals eventually dropped that game. That was a heartbreaker in the ninth inning. The Cubs scored 3 runs. And the Mike Tauchman double is the one that walked it off in the bottom of the ninth inning. To discuss the Cardinals, Claibs, part of the broadcast team, is with us now. What's going on, Mike?
Good morning. How are you guys in St. Louis?
We're doing okay. That's a tough loss to take, especially against a division opponent. And when you had, or you felt like you had that game in hand, not the way you wanted to end up.
Yeah, you know what? It's part of a 162-game schedule. When you do everything right except the last pitch, that's what happens. The best thing about it is you have another game today to deal with, so you don't have a lot of time to worry about it. But it was a really well-played game. I thought the Cardinals pitched well. The defense was solid. They had some timely hitting, and it's really a game that you would mark on the board as saying, this is what we look like. But unfortunately, you were 1 pitch short.
Now, Ryan Helsley hasn't really pitched a whole lot over about the last 3 weeks or so. You try to get to this situation where, as a reliever, you're pitching enough, but not pitching too much. It's this balance they're trying to find, because when you don't pitch enough, sometimes that is just as counterproductive as pitching too much.
Well, it's one of those situations where you don't want to get beat by your second or third best pitch. And when you find yourself falling in love with your second and third best pitch in that situation, bad things can happen, especially if you haven't pitched a lot. Now, if he's in a groove where he's pitching every other day, or 2 out of the 3 days, then then he's got a more of a comfort level. But last night he just didn't have it, and I expect him to be out there today, and I bet he's better than he was last night.
Eric Fetty is going to get the start this afternoon at Wrigley Field. So making his debut with the Cardinals, he'll go up against Javier Assad. This is a good pitching matchup because the two of them have both been really good. But what are you looking forward to with Fetty? What do you want to see most?
Well, I want to see him get some people out. I want to see him pitching in the 7th inning at least. He's a pitch maker. He's not overpowering in any category. And when you look at his record and you say, wait a minute, he won 7 games on a team that's only won 27. So if he was playing with a team that bad, I'm just thinking how much better it's going to be playing with the Cardinals, who are better offensively, better defensively. And The support should really give him a little bit more encouragement on being able to come out here and do a good job today.
All right, Claibs. I'm wondering about this particular series at Wrigley Field, the division race. I know we talk about it pretty much every week, but kind of like to check in, every time we get this opportunity. We are now in the month of August. So 2 months left to go here. The Cardinals find themselves in playoff position in the wild card race currently right now. They are 2 games back of a wild card, but they're right there in position. There's been a lot of fluctuation over the last several days there. In the division, we kind of know where things stand as well, with them trailing by 5.5 games, the Milwaukee Brewers. How are you feeling about where the race stands currently?
I feel we have them just where we want them. There's plenty of time to catch the Brewers, plenty of time to get in postseason play. You don't want to peak too early. And, as long as you remain consistent and you can pick up a game in the standings each week, then you'll be okay. As I look at the wild card setup now, there are 3 spots, and those 3 teams that are in it, I think only one of those 3 teams will still be a wild card. I think the other 2 teams will be replaced at some point. So, you know what? It's a good time. The sprint is on. And, every game counts, obviously. And the Cardinals, with their schedule set up, we're going to play the Cubs. Then we have a real big game against the Mets on Monday. They're a team that's in wild card contention as well. So, you have something to show up and play for now. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun down the stretch. But as you look at the standings, they're going to change daily, in my opinion, as far as who's going to be in the wild card. But I think the Cardinals have bigger aspirations in winning the division.
Yeah, the Braves have the first wild card spot. They are a game and a half in front of the Padres, who are a half game in front of the Diamondbacks. Those are currently your 3 wild card teams. Then it's the Mets, a half game out, the Cardinals 2 games out. So all of these teams are separated by just a couple of games here. That's 5 teams we're talking about. And then you throw the Pirates in the mix, they're 2.5 out. So really 6 teams are in striking distance.
Yeah, and that's what baseball wants. They want more people involved in contending for a playoff spot, and they're getting that. And you just mentioned, Pittsburgh. I mean, who talks about Pittsburgh being involved in postseason play at this late stage of the season? So when you can get some of these other markets engaged, and we had all 30 teams be involved in the trade deadline, either making sure their team was better for this year or making sure their team was better for next year or the year after. And I think that says a lot about the direction of what baseball is trying to be more competitive up and down compared to having the same old teams involved on a regular basis.
So speaking of that deadline, the Cardinals make 3 moves. They pick up the starting pitcher who will go today. They get Tommy Pham back. They get Sean Armstrong, the reliever. What do you think of what they did at the deadline?
I like what they did. They knew what they needed, and you and I have talked about it, and Amy, we talked about it for a few months on what they needed, and they went out and addressed it. Now it's up to the players that they acquired to go out and do their job, and if they do it, then obviously we're going to be better. We're a better team now than we were before the trade deadline.
Pham, of course, is a personality. If we have talked, he's just an interesting dude. How does he, for a clubhouse that he has been in before, there's been some turnover, quite a bit of it since he was last year. A couple of guys are still around, but how does he fit in the Cardinals clubhouse right now?
The perfect fit. Someone said to me yesterday, the maturity and the professionalism that he's showing is far different than when they knew him as a younger player. And, he wants to win. And I think anytime you have a guy who wants to win, they're going to push it a little bit more than others who just want to be here. So in his situation, he knows the players, he knows the coaches, and he played with the manager in the minors. So, I mean, he has a real good feel of what the Cardinals are in need of, and he knows how the Cardinals do things. So I think that makes it a lot easier from a transition standpoint compared to bringing someone in who doesn't know anything about how the Cardinals do things.
Clabe, speaking of the clubhouse, we've talked about some of the veteran players that have leadership, maturity in the locker room, in the clubhouse, like Goldschmidt, like Arenado. Now, when those are your leaders in the clubhouse, but they are struggling on the field, and I know things have been kind of turning around, but still struggling on the field, does that affect their leadership at all? Is it do they have to kind of put on a different face in the clubhouse if on the field they're struggling?
No, not really. I think because of the the fact they've been around for so long, and they've been there for players who were struggling as well. So it really doesn't. And they're not guys who stand on the table and give pep talks and rah-rah and all that sort of stuff. They lead by example. And they're very professional in how they approach things. So it really doesn't affect them. You know, if you have one of these guys that's hooting and hollering all the time, and all of a sudden he starts to play poorly, and then he starts to wear his emotions on his sleeves, then he really wasn't the leader you thought he was.
I saw some people just going back to the game last night in the ninth inning. There was that challenge that Oliver Marmol, there was a play at second, and they wanted to challenge it. And I've seen some people criticize that decision because it was an 0-2 count on the hitter. It took Helsley out of his rhythm by doing the challenge. They lost the challenge anyway, so it didn't really work. What did you think of that? Was that a problem?
We're splitting hairs here.
Yeah.
You know, they were trying to get an out. Okay. And they thought they had a shot at it on the replay. It didn't work, but that doesn't give anybody an excuse to let down from a concentration standpoint. I mean, you still have to be focused, and if you're a pitcher, you have to always think that I'm going to have to throw another pitch regardless. So I think that's splitting hairs with regard to that.
I got a baseball trivia thing for you. So Baseball Reference tweeted out a list of the active player for each team in baseball that has the most home runs against that team. Okay. So there are 2 Cardinals who have the most home runs against a particular team. And one of them has that against 2 different teams. So I'll just give you one. Nolan Arenado.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the most home runs against 2 teams in baseball. Do you know which ones?
I would say it's probably a West Coast team.
Yeah. I mean, in that regard, it's pretty easy once you start thinking of it like that. Division opponents.
Yeah, I would say the Dodgers.
Yeah. Well, no, the Dodgers is another Cardinal.
Paul Goldschmidt.
Paul Goldschmidt, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got 34 home runs against them. These are active players. Arenado's got him against the Diamondbacks and the Giants.
You're doing your Gene Rayburn impersonation here, game show host.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Well, and I can't see how long your microphone is. That would really validate whether you're.
It's like Bob Barker's. It's the same size.
Not the size of the microphone.
By the way, Mike Trout, and that's a really devastating story. Again, it's just he is out for the season. He's got a torn meniscus, so he is not going to play for the rest of the year. It's when you think about Trout, who is one of the greatest talents we've ever seen in the game of baseball. To me, he had been a joy to watch. It just really stinks that he had to play for that organization and was hardly ever in the postseason.
Well, can you blame? I mean, the organization put some good players around him. Okay, you think about Albert Pujols. They had some really good players at one point. So you know, it's an unfortunate situation for Trout because he'll always be remembered as what if. You know, it's kind of like with Griffey Jr. near the end. He had a lot of injuries as well, but he had over 500 home runs. So he had a resume that validated why he was so great. With Trout, we know he was a very good player when he was healthy. He just wasn't healthy long enough to be appreciated in the same category as some of the great players that we witnessed in the past.
Yeah. And by the way, Mike Trout, we were talking about the active player home run list. There are 5 teams that he is the biggest menace. He's just an awesome talent. Wish I could have seen more of him in the postseason, but yeah, that's it. Hey, Claibs, good to talk to you. Enjoy the broadcast today. We will be enjoying the broadcast today. So see if you can get us a win.
I'm going to do my best, along with my cohorts, Ricky Horton and the voice of the Cardinals, John Rooney. We are working feverishly to make sure we have a different outcome than we did last.
All right.
Well, it's hot, so don't work too feverishly. You need to stay hydrated.
We always stay hydrated.
All right.
Good.
Hydrate
We're
or
good on that
dihydrate.
front.
Yeah.
Talk to you next week.
All right. Have a great weekend. Take care.
Mike Claiborne on the broadcast for the Cardinals today. Pre-game show is coming up, 12:25, 1:20 first pitch. The Birds are in Chicago to play the Cubs. That's all coming up.
Also, you need to keep listening because we're very generous and we have tickets to give away.
What?
I know, to the League's Cup. Keep listening. If you even turn away for a second, you might miss it.
On KMOX. Don't miss it.
I'm Robert Cornejo. It is an honor to serve as judge for St. Charles County, the community that I am proud to be raising my family in. In my courtroom, I follow the Constitution and the rule of law. I'm not here to legislate from the bench. I'm here to ensure justice is carried out efficiently and fairly. My number one priority as a judge is to make sure this is a safe community for families like mine.
Robert Cornejo served in the Missouri House, where he defended the sanctity of life, prevented illegal immigrants from receiving taxpayer-subsidized tuition, fought against big government, and strengthened our Second Amendment rights. Judge Robert Cornejo is endorsed by the St. Louis County Police Association and Eastern Missouri Coalition of Police for his work to keep St. Charles County safe. Judge Cornejo also has the support of local firefighters.
When you cast your vote, I hope that you will allow me, Judge Robert Cornejo, to be the next circuit judge for St. Charles County.
Paid for by friends of Robert Cornejo. Allison Onder, treasurer.
The pitch. Do you dream about calling Cardinals games?
Goldschmidt swings and he hits.
If so, the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum is for you. Learn about play-by-play, reporting, interviewing, and working with pro athletes from the best broadcasters in the business. John Rooney, Chip Carey, Rick Horton, Brad Thompson, and more. The Sportscasters Forum is Thursday, September 19th at Live by Lowe's. Tickets include 3 educational sessions, lunch, and a ticket to that evening's Cardinals game. For details, go to MissouriBroadcasters.org.
If you're trying to sell a home, there's only one agent in town that I trust, Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. My friends Mark and Neil have the best system, options, and strategies to connect you to the best qualified buyers, getting your home sold fast and for top dollar. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
At Odyssey, we believe in casting a wide net to create a diverse and inclusive workforce, as we value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be directly notified of our open positions. Again, that's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for our listeners, we invite you to visit odysseyinc.com/careers. There, you'll find an online listing of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go, so I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partnered with Beacon. With their unique Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Conservative Dave Wassinger is the only pro-Trump Republican running for lieutenant governor. Wassinger is the only candidate endorsed by Missouri Right to Life. And Wassinger is the only candidate for lieutenant governor with the guts to work with Trump to deport illegals. Wassinger's policy on illegal immigration is simple. Come here legally, or it's adios, amigos. Listen to conservative pro-Trump Republican Dave Wassinger.
President Trump is right. Illegals break our laws, steal our jobs, and overwhelm our hospitals. It has to stop. As your lieutenant governor, I'll fight to keep Missouri safe and deport illegals. You come here legally, or it's adios, amigos.
Dave Wassinger, tough on illegal immigration. Dave Wassinger, pro-Trump. Dave Wassinger, pro-life. Vote Dave Wassinger for lieutenant governor. Paid for by Wassinger for Missouri. Henry Charles Poles, treasurer.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold for Newbold Toyota and Newbold BMW, a family-owned dealership group that has been around for 50 years as a Toyota dealer and 25 years in O'Fallon, Illinois. So come see us. That's Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
I'm Dave Glover. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Pass is left on the ground. All right, Lutz, here we go on 3. 1, 2, 3. St. Louis.
Well, if you are half as excited as Joey Zanaboni, you need to calm down
Calm down right
Just
damn
calm
now.
down.
Calm down right down. But you can get a little excited because we got some tickets to give away.
And the tickets are for the City Leagues Cup game this Sunday, August 4th, against FC Juarez. Polo Asensio has tried to teach me how to say it correctly. I'm a little off.
You should just not worry about it.
No,
'cause you
I'm
can't-
gonna worry.
You can't do it.
Yes, I
So-
can. Anyway, you have to be the 9th caller.
Right now,
Right
to the
now.
contest line. Don't start calling in the regular number.
Contest
Contest
314-955-1120.
314-955-1120. Be
Just-
caller number 9. It's not that difficult.
You Just first be careful. And then
Well, yeah,
second,
totally.
save that number as the KMOX contest line. And while you're saving that number as the KMOX contest line, don't forget the text line, which is also the call-in line.
Yeah.
314-436.
436-7900.
That's right. 436-7900.
That has nothing to do with the
I
contest.
know, but everyone else who's losing right now, you
Exactly.
can text us and tell us that you lost.
Hey, Matt Pajeski, our producer,
Yeah.
said the most pathetic thing like right before we came back from
There's
break.
no telling.
And I bet that somehow he's not alone. He
Okay.
said, there are two things I look forward to the most each day. 1, lunch, and 2, going to bed.
How pathetic is
That
my
is
life?
so
How
pathetic.
sad is my life that I look forward to lunch and going to bed?
Isn't that pathetic?
No, here, I think there's a whole community of people who are on Matt's side. Okay, the contest is over.
Yeah.
The contest is
Contest
over.
is
Here's
over.
the
We got a
text
winner.
line. 314-436-7900. 314-436-7900. Text in and let Matt Pajeski, the 14-year-old who produces our show, know that he is not a sad, pathetic excuse for a human because his two favorite things are lunchtime and bedtime.
Some of my favorite things. I don't know about the favorite things.
No,
but-
you said the. You said the thing
All
that
right,
you.
you're right.
The two things you look forward to the most each day are lunch and bedtime.
And number 3, getting to work with Chris and Amy.
Yeah. Okay.
Aw.
Whatever.
Just kidding. It's dinner.
It's dinner. The kid's like,
Sometimes I eat an early dinner so I can go to bed earlier.
and you know what else he said?
What?
The sooner I go to bed, the sooner I can wake up the next day and eat lunch. So pathetic.
I like it. I agree. Honestly, how many times do I talk about being hungry during the course of a day?
The two of you,
Yeah.
just guys, everybody listening, I want you to feel the pain that I go through every day because these two people in the
Mhm.
room with me,
Mhm.
between the two of them, from the hours of 10 to 1 o'clock
Yeah.
when our show is on, no less than 45 times do I hear the words, I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
I can't wait for lunch. Every now and then punctuated by, oh, I gotta pee.
Yeah. God. And we'll have the winner. James O'Sullivan is hard at work talking to the winner
He is.
of the tickets, and we'll
And
tell
this
you
winner
who won those.
is talking his ear off, it looks like.
That's right. We got Cardinals baseball coming up pretty soon. We're on with you until the 12:25 pregame show. Cardinals and Cubs this afternoon. But that's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji on KMOX.
There's Mike Kehoe's campaign bus that's owned by a Chinese lobbyist. Swampy Kehoe is hitching a ride after voting 4 times to sell Missouri farmland to China. Luckily, Trump-endorsed conservative Jay Ashcroft is tough on China. He led the charge to stop China from buying our farms. Call and thank Ashcroft for being China's worst enemy. 573-751-4936. Paid for by Stand for US PAC, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. StandForUS.com.
Hello, Missouri. I'm Jamie Corley, a fifth-generation Missourian and conservative outsider running for Secretary of State. The swamp establishment has embarrassed our state for too long. I'll fight to protect our values, support President Trump, and bring integrity back to Missouri. Join me, Jamie Corley, in this fight for real change. Vote for a proud Missourian who will always stand up for you. Paid for by Jamie Corley from Missouri, Mary C. Walsh, Treasurer.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navient's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at californiapsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Patriots like President Trump never stop fighting for their country. Because Trump knows America's on life support and says Dr. Bob Onder can help him save it. Trump's endorsed Dr. Bob Onder for Congress, calling him an incredible America First patriot who will fight tirelessly for our families and conservative values. Dr. Bob Onder, the Trump-endorsed America First conservative. Kurt Schaefer is different. Trump calls Schaefer weak on MAGA because Trump knows his record, voting to let foreign-owned entities buy up Missouri farmland. Now China owns over 40,000 acres. And Schaefer's campaign took $30,000 from a Chinese-owned company. He won't make America great. He'll make China rich. If given the chance, Schaefer will do it again. Win It Backpack is responsible for the content of this ad. Paid for by Win It Backpack. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. WinItBackpack.com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 12 noon, it's a partly cloudy sky, currently 82 degrees downtown at the Arch. This news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Our top story this hour, many investors are on edge.
There's been a sell-off of stocks worldwide. Pennsylvania financial advisor Gene Peroni is telling his investors to hold tight.
I think normally when you have a lot of volatility like this and it's focused on things such as geopolitical and to some extent economic, the best thing to do is really to wait it out.
Peroni believes stocks are down because of worries about the U.S. economy after a weak jobs report and concerns about more instability in the Middle East. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
That latest jobs report shows some sectors experiencing a slowdown with fewer jobs created last month. CBS's Jill Schlesinger.
The U.S. labor market is slowing down. In July, the economy produced 114,000 jobs. Now, that's lower than what was expected. The expectation was for 175 or 185,000 jobs. And although this was the 43rd consecutive month of job growth, the pace of job growth is decelerating.
The Dow right now is down 760 points. The S&P 500's down about 2.25%, and the NASDAQ is down about 2.6%. A bit of nostalgia in the Metro East. Granite City tourism leaders unveiled the new Route 66 neon sign park at 19th and Delmar. Scott Bringett of Ace Sign Company in Central Illinois restored 3 of the town's iconic business signs.
You can't recreate the look of glass neon and the actual neon gases that create that glow with anything except the real deal.
They are Hudson Jewelers, Reese Drug Store, and the Washington Theater. A state tourism grant covered the cost of the new park. The KMOX Business Desk and Athletic Apparel boost.
Nike's hoping that the Paris Olympics will help revive its business. The sneaker and sports apparel company is spending big on marketing around the games. Co-founder Phil Knight even sending an encouraging letter to coaches and athletes before the start of the Olympics. I'm Dan Schwartzman, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel down 794 points. That's about 2% to 39,553. Roadwork has just been cleared on 6440 going west at Route K.
This afternoon won't be as hot as recent days with sunshine and some clouds, a gusty breeze, the high 86, then mainly clear tonight, warm and humid, though 72. Mostly sunny tomorrow, high 91. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Fast Eddie's Bon Air. If you are 21, go over to Fast Eddie's Bon Air on 1530 East 4th Street in Alton, Illinois for great food and entertainment. The home of the Big Elwood on a Stick, the Big Fat Eddie Burger, and the world-famous Peel and Eat Shrimp. Fast Eddie's in Alton, Illinois. Partly cloudy, 82 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Get paid to save with Empower Checking, a new high-yield checking account. Visit togethercu.org/empower.
Congratulations to Patsy in Belleville. Patsy in Belleville is going to go see City SC.
What's going on over
Sunday.
there? You
I
look
don't-
like you
dude, I don't
lost
know.
the ability, lost the desire to live halfway through that sentence.
I don't know,
And Patsy and I don't know. She's gonna go.
Do you think that if Patsy gets blamed for something that she didn't do, she ever says, "I don't know, I'm just Patsy"?
What? God. I don't know. I'm just Patsy.
You know what a Patsy is?
No.
Remember when Lee Harvey Oswald said, "I'm just a patsy"?
Did he say that?
Yes, he did.
A person who is easily taken advantage of.
Yes.
Especially by being cheated or blamed for something.
Yes.
Me.
A patsy is somebody who in most commonly it is somebody who takes the blame for a crime they did not commit.
You know what? It's not.
How did you not know that?
We haven't found out that it's a pejorative or like derogatory in any way, right? Because there are
That's just a
some
word
words.
for it.
So we're allowed to say Patsy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like
kind of a good word. What was the word that? A pipsqueak.
Oh yeah. I called Pajeski a pipsqueak yesterday.
There are some words that I think we should bring back, and pipsqueak.
I am over 6 feet tall.
Yeah, but look at you. I love you.
He goes, "You're such a pipsqueak," and I just was like, "Wow, that's an underused word."
Oh God.
If
It's
you
so
have
good.
an underused word, 314-436-7900. Just keep it family friendly. But pipsqueak is a good one.
I think it really is.
Yeah. But
I think-
congratulations to Patsy
From Belleville.
from Belleville, who's going to the League's Cup game. Hey, we've been talking about the Olympics, and there's a Nike commercial that has gone semi-viral, or they were at least very excited to release it. And we've got some of the audio. You may have seen it. It is "Am I a Bad Person?" It's their new like "Winning Isn't for Everyone" campaign. So here we go.
A bad person. Tell me, am I? I'm single-minded. I'm deceptive. I'm obsessive. I'm selfish. Does that make me a bad person? Am I a bad person? Am I? I have no empathy. I don't respect you. I'm never satisfied. I have an obsession with power. I'm irrational. I have zero.
So the commercial goes on, and while he's asking, "Am I a bad person?" and he lists all of these qualities that are seemingly unsavory qualities or qualities of a villain rather than a hero, they're showing some of the greatest athletes of all time, from LeBron James to Kobe Bryant. Sha'Carri Richardson's in there. So
They
modern
put Michael
athletes,
in there?
I think they put
They
Michael
better
in there.
It's a Nike ad. They better.
Yeah, they put Michael in there. So you're watching it, and of course, it's gripping. It's engaging because the scenes are of not only of the greatest athletes and moments of athletic feats, but it's a provocative question because am I a bad person? And again, all of these qualities, I have no empathy. And at the end, the climax of the commercial, it says winning isn't for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it takes to be a winner. And the thing is, I get both sides of why it's kind of cool, but then also why I don't know how I feel about it. And what made me question this commercial, it wasn't just seeing it, but you brought up the Swedish swimmer.
Yes.
Who was so shocked and humbled to win a gold medal
Yes.
in her 5th Olympics. She's 31 years old, and she was not expecting it at all.
I decided after the relay, I was not sure at all if I would do it. But I mean, my coach insisted. And also I've been dreaming a few times that I will win. It's almost like I've seen it somewhere before, that I'm going to win the 100 freestyle. So I was like, I was too curious to find out what I could do, but I definitely did not think that I would win. I've done many things in my
Yeah, like she said, and I heard it. I was watching as it
Mhm.
happened. It was Wednesday afternoon, I believe, and
Mhm.
she won. And it was the 100. She's 30 years
100-meter
old,
freestyle. Yep.
and I guess nobody that old has won it before. And she said, "I didn't think I would win."
Yeah.
And I thought, whoa, I have never that I can recall heard an Olympic athlete. We're talking the best
Mhm.
of the best in the entire world who get to do this every 4 years. Saying that they didn't think they could win an event. I've never heard
It was
that
it
I
was
can remember.
it was so relatable. It was endearing. I think it was kind of attractive and charming in a way, right? To see someone who's the very best in the world go, I dreamt about it, but I never,
Didn't think I could."
surprised myself more than I ever could. There's something so attractive about that. Okay. So then you contrast that with the Nike commercial of that overly confident, braggadocious, almost cavalier attitude, like I am going to just crush everyone beneath me, which in its own way can be kind of cool and kind of a brand. We think of Noah Lyles, who we're about to see on the track, or Sha'Carri Richardson, just larger than life personalities. And you have to channel some almost obscene amount of confidence to be such a great athlete. But I also, there's something very attractive about
I
being
agree with you.
humble and relatable and just full of joy and gratitude. Not like I earned it, this is me. Just her being so humble and gracious.
Well, there's a psychology to it. And you can be supremely talented, but for some people, if they don't have that ridiculous that drive
Mhm.
that they can't lose focus in any way ever, or they're going to
Right.
lose, or they have to invent slights against them.
Mhm.
So, for example, Tommy Pham for the Cardinals, he sometimes will invent in his mind that he's been slighted so that he can use that as motivation. He's not the only one, but he's a good local example of that.
Mhm.
Michael Jordan was maybe the most famous example of that. There was a player, and now it's escaping me his name, but the guy was he was like a rookie. And Michael had it in his head that guy
Mhm.
was talking crap about him, but he wasn't.
Right.
And Michael used it to absolutely destroy him in a game once because the guy was guarding him, and he took it as extra motivation to beat him. But that never happened. Like, he was never actually being slighted. He just invented it. So it's interesting to see that, which is a pretty typical athlete mindset.
Mhm.
And then you put that up against this woman
Yeah.
who won an Olympic swimming event, which is the pinnacle event for her, for her sport. And she's like, I didn't think I could do that. That's crazy.
Like, whoa. And I think in running, like, because that's the sport I know. And I've run with some very elite runners. I'm not worthy of tying their shoes. And they have a switch that I don't have because I've seen it. Like, I am trying my absolute best. I feel like I'm pushing through any doubt. I feel like I'm pushing through my body screaming at me to stop. And yet they have a switch. These professional runners, elite runners, Olympians, that when they get determined, I mean, there is no power on earth that can stop them. I don't have that, right?
Right.
And I feel like in my experience, you can compete really well, almost with some anger, right? And just this swagger, and you have a chip on your shoulder and you're going to prove to the world something, or you can compete with an extraordinary amount of joy. Like, those are the two sides that I see in the most elite of elite athletes, is that bit larger than life personality, that Nike commercial, like, I will crush you. I have no empathy. I own you. I deserve this. Kind of this angry braggadocio versus extreme humility and joy. And I think most of us operate somewhere in the middle,
Yeah.
where we're happy, but also kind of nervous. And, oh, I wish I could prove this to somebody, but, oh, I don't really deserve it. We're kind of in the middle. I feel like the elites are on the two extremes of those.
What impression do you get from Katie Ledecky? I get my feeling about her is that she's just so physically gifted that it doesn't matter. That not that she has to. I mean, of course you want to be focused, right? And I think anybody who's doing that in the moment is focused,
Mhm.
but I don't know. To me, I just get the sense she's just so physically gifted. So the race, the 1500 that she did on Wednesday,
Mhm.
where she finished, and she was the camera shot of it.
Yeah.
She finished. She hit the wall. She's the only person in frame for like 4
I know.
seconds, and nobody's even close.
I think
to
she
her.
won by 10 seconds. She won the trials by
It was stupid.
46 seconds. So what I get from Katie Ledecky is quiet confidence. And to me, the ultimate Olympic athlete that I feel like had both such extraordinary grace and humility, but also quiet confidence. Like, I don't have to prove anything to anyone. I know, is Simone Biles. She has such a humble but yet quiet confidence. She's like, you can see on her face, there's a next level of serenity and confidence.
Yeah, except for lately. I think the Michaela Skinner thing, where that gymnast from was it last Olympics, who said that this team is lazy and doesn't work hard. I think Simone Biles, because she made comments about it, I think she took that and thought, oh really? Well, that's what you think of us? Because she tweeted about it after, or she Instagram post afterwards.
During the performance, I mean, when
Okay.
you're watching her on the beam or on the floor, you know she was even a little nervous at times because you see the relief, you see the joy on her face.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked her persona. I love the way she carries herself, her demeanor. And again, like I said, and maybe running is a little bit different, but sprinters have such big personalities, right? They are brands. I mean, they Noah Lyles is a brand. People who don't care about track and field know Noah Lyles or Sha'Carri Richardson. And even though that's not necessarily my style, I'm not the braggadocious person, it's like that's what they've decided to tap into, because you have to tap into something almost otherworldly in order to compete at that level. And I do think there are those, is it Gabby Thomas? Not Gabby Thomas, sorry. That was the no, she is a runner. Gabby Thomas. Oh, who am I thinking of? Might be Gabby Thomas. There's another one, another runner who she kind of taps into the joy side of things. Every time she wins, she is so grateful and almost like, I'm just so humbled to be here, versus I knew it, I said it, I did it.
I don't know who that would be.
I got it.
And also Biles, remember the twisties thing that she went through a few years ago, where and that is like that's like the yips. You've heard of the yips in baseball, where a guy for whatever reason just suddenly can't throw the ball to first and he throws it into the crowd, the Chuck Knobloch kind of thing. She developed that thing where she was in her own head and was doing flips and thought, oh, I'm going to break my neck on the way down, and then couldn't do it. She just developed it. And so I think there's probably a little bit of a chip there, because she took some criticism for it and people were mocking her at the time it happened. I'm sure that motivated her a lot to where she is now, a few years later. Also this weekend, in terms of sports, it is the Pro Football Hall of Fame induction. So it's happening this weekend. The Hall of Fame game was last night. So there are, 7 players that are going into the Hall of Fame. Among them, Dwight Freeney, Andre Johnson, Julius Peppers, Patrick Willis, Steve McMichael, who has ALS right now, and it's really, really sad. Also, this guy.
On the approach platform, popping here in Miami. It sails to the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it, and to the middle with the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 of the Colts, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown Bears! No way!
That was in the Super Bowl against
the
opening kickoff of the Super Bowl. And I'm going to tell you right now, that was one of my great sports moments ever.
You were alive for that?
It was 2006.
Oh, I thought it was like the Civil War.
Or 2007. Whatever it was. Yes, Devin Hester is going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Gave me one of my singular greatest sports moments ever.
And he hasn't had one since.
Me. Oh, I haven't had one
Yeah.
since. Yes, you're correct. But yeah, that was a Super Bowl. They lost that Super Bowl. But he ran the man. I walked into a bar.
This guy's getting emotional.
I walked into a bar.
Yeah.
As the kickoff was happening, and it was packed, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a Super Bowl. The Bears were in it. That place was up for grabs. Watching that dude, he got to that first line of defense, and you're like, oh my God, he's about to run this back to the house, and he did. And thought, oh my God, they're going to beat Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
They're going to beat Peyton Manning.
Unbelievable.
They did not beat Peyton Manning or the Colts.
When was the last time the Bears won a Super Bowl?
85.
Ooh.
Yeah, right? But now they've got the quarterback of the future,
Caleb Williams,
who's better than Patrick Mahomes.
Going to get hurt in that extra game in the regular season.
Shut
Are
up.
they doing that? Have they done? Did they
Not
add
for this year.
Not for this year. Next year?
But they are talking about adding an 18th game to the schedule.
That's so dumb.
I don't know,
the
man.
Players are barely surviving the season as it is. Quarterbacks are going down like flies.
But here's what's going to happen. They're going to make a ton of money, and they will do it, and they will be happy. And they'll just say, hey, the injuries, that's just what happens.
It's a rough game. The NFL cares about nothing but money.
That's right. That is correct. So Pro Football Hall of Fame class is inducted this weekend. So congratulations to them. Let's get a Cardinals win today. Huh? Cardinals are taking on the Cubs at Wrigley Field. We're out early now because Matt Pauley's got the pregame show. And that's coming up in a few minutes. And then first pitch at 1:20 today. Eric Fedde is making his Cardinals debut as a starter. So enjoy it. We'll talk to you Monday.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential.